We continue now at the top of Daf Kuf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph Meseches Shabbos. This is Shabbos Daf 132a. The Gemara here is asking, how does Rabbi Eliezer know that Milah and all the preparations for Milah are Docha Shabbos? And the Gemara says, well, maybe you'll say that it's learned out from all these other cases we had before that are also Docha Shabbos. And the Gemara says you can't learn from there. Shekain im avar zmana batzla, because all the other examples of cases where the mitzvah themselves and the preparation for the mitzvah are Docha Shabbos, they're all examples of mitzvahs where if the time passes, you can't do the mitzvah anymore. It's basically now or never. So in such a situation, that's what Rashi says, Shem avar zmanan betelan hilkach dachu. That's why in those cases there's a dechiyah, that's why it pushes off Shabbos. But you can't learn out to bris milah, where the fact of the matter is, if you don't do bris milah on the 8th day, you could do it on the 9th day, you could do it after the 8th day. So the Gemara says, Alahainu taima de Rabbi Eliezer. You know what the reason of Rabbi Eliezer is? The Amar Kra uvayom hashmini yimol besar orlaso. It says on the 8th day you have bris milah va'afilu b'Shabbos. And we learn out from this pasuk it's even on Shabbos. Rashi says, Umila guva dedachi Shabbos amrinu lekamon halacha l'Moshe misinai. The fact that milah itself is docha Shabbos, that's a halacha l'Moshe misinai. Ayaser le biyom lemachshireh. So the word biyom, according to Rabbi Eliezer, in the 8th day, it says even the preparations for milah can be done on Shabbos. So the Gemara then asks, V'lichtov rachmana b'milah v'leisu hanach v'ligmar minei. Why not just have it by milah and learn out all the other cases from milah? Again, mishum deikol mifrach, because we can always ask, ma milah shekein nichersu aleh shlosh esrei brisos. Milah is unique because there were 13 covenants over milah, and therefore you can't learn out to other cases. Rashi says, Yod Gimel brisos nemru lavram b'parshas milah. In the parsha milah, you see 13 times that there's a covenant. Gemara now says, Ad kan lo pligi rabbanon aleh ela b'machshirei milah. The entire machlokas over here is by the preparations for milah, that the rabbanon say you can't do preparations for milah on Shabbos, and Rabbi Eliezer says you could. Avol milah gufa divrei hakol docha Shabbos. Everybody agrees that milah itself is docha Shabbos. Min nolan, what is the source that bris milah on the 8th day is docha Shabbos? Amar Ula halacha. So Ula says it's a halacha l'Moshe misinai. V'chein Amar Rabbi Yitzchak halacha. And Rabbi Yitzchak similarly says it's a halacha l'Moshe misinai. So Meisvei the Gemara asks from a brisa minayin lepikuach nefesh shedoches haShabbos. The brisa says, how do you know that if you have a life and death situation, it can be docha Shabbos? Pikuach nefesh is docha Shabbos. Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah Omer. Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah says, Ma milah she'achas me'ivarav shel adam. If bris milah, which is only one limb of a person, doches haShabbos, it can push off Shabbos. Kal v'chomer lepikuach nefesh. Certainly pikuach nefesh shedoches haShabbos. It certainly can be docha Shabbos. So the Gemara here is bringing a brisa which learns a kal v'chomer from milah. So the Gemara says, V'sal kadaita halacha. If you think that the reason why milah is docha Shabbos is because it's halacha l'Moshe misinai, kal v'chomer me halacha miyasi. Can you make a kal v'chomer from halacha l'Moshe misinai? We know you cannot make a kal v'chomer from halacha l'Moshe misinai, as it says v'atanya, but it says in a brisa. Amar lo Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah. Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah said to Rabbi Akiva, Akiva etzem kisa'ora metame halacha. The halacha that a bone the size of a piece of barley is metame, that's a halacha l'Moshe misinai. Revius dam kal v'chomer, and the halacha that a revius dam causes the tumah is a kal v'chomer. We'll see Rashi exactly what this is talking about, but the point is the next line. Ve'ein done in kal v'chomer me halacha. Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah said to Rabbi Akiva, you're not allowed to make a kal v'chomer from a halacha l'Moshe misinai. So therefore, it cannot be that the reason that the way we know that bris milah is docha Shabbos is because of halacha l'Moshe misinai, because then we wouldn't be able to make a kal v'chomer from there. Rashi here says v'atani b'Meseches Nazir. This is a halacha in Meseches Nazir. Akiva etzem kisa'ora halacha. If you have a bone the size of a barley, it's a halacha l'Moshe misinai. Shal Rabbi Akiva don kal v'chomer minayin l'revius dam hameis shahanazir megaleach al kal v'chomer. He said Rabbi Akiva was being a kal v'chomer. How do you know that if you have a revius dam from a mace, that the nazir has to then be megaleach on that the nazir has to shave if he becomes tummy in that way? Kal v'chomer, it's the following kal v'chomer ma'etzem kasa'ora she'enu metami ba'oel. If a bone the size of a piece of barley is not metami ba'oel, nazir megaleach al mago. A nazir is megaleach when he touches, u'masor when he carries it. Revius dam she'metami ba'oel. So if you have a revius of dam which is metami ba'oel, dechsivi al kol nefesh meis lo yavo, eino din she'anazir megaleach oleh. So isn't it true that a nazir should be megaleach if he becomes tamei through ohel, through a revius dam? That was a kal v'chomer Rabbi Akiva tried to make. V'yamar le Rabbi Lazar Akiva etzem kasor halacha l'Moshe misinai she'ei nazir megaleach oleh. So he said to him, Rabbi Lazar said to him, Rabbi Akiva, he said that's a halacha l'Moshe misinai etzem kasor. Or revius dam atabol lilmod mimenu b'kal v'chomer. You want to make a kal v'chomer to revius dam? Ve'in done a kal v'chomer mehalacha to lo nitzna Torah shabal peli doresh b'yod gimel midas. The svara is that the the Torah Shebal Peh, in this case Halacha Moshe Sinai, cannot be darshaned using the Yud Gimel Midos, in this case a Kal V'chomer. So therefore, this cannot be the source that bris milah is docha Shabbos. So the Gemara now tries a different source, and the Gemara says, Elo Amar Rebbe Elazar, rather Rebbe Elazar says as follows, Asya os os. It's learned out os os. Now what does it mean it's learned out os os? Rashi here says Asya os os b'Shabbos ksiv ki osi. By Shabbos it says that Shabbos is an os. Uva milah ksiv v'hoya laos. It also says by milah that it's an os. V'hoya laos bris malahal on Shabbos afkan Shabbos. So therefore, just like the os is on Shabbos, so too the os of Milah can be on Shabbos. So the Gemara then asks, Ela me'ata, but if os is a proper limud, tefillin dechsiv bohen os, tefillin also have the word os. L'dchi Shabbos, tefillin should push off Shabbos. And Rashi says, Ela me'ata, yihach gezer shavet os ha'amur b'Shabbos nemra b'sinai lidorish. This is an important Rashi. Rashi here is saying that you need to have a tradition from Har Sinai to say that a certain word can be used for a gezer shavet. This os is a gezer shavet. If the word os can be used for a gezer shavet, shetei vazul l'drasha, that this word can be used for a drasha, nemra, that's why it was said in the Torah, ligmar minon nami l'tefillin, we should do the same thing from tefillin. So it cannot be, the gzer shav of os cannot be. So rather the Gemara says, because we know tefillin is not docha Shabbos, and again it would be if the word os was a proper gzer shav. Ela asya bris bris, so the Gemara tries another one, it's a gzer shav from the word bris. Rashi says, Ela asya bris bris, ahuda os lo nemra b'sinai, forget about os, that was not, there's no tradition that is a proper gzer shav. Vein adam done gzer shava me'atzma, you can't make up gzer shavas on your own. Elahach the bris nemra b'sinai, rather bris was said by Har Sinai, uva Shabbos ksiv bris l'dorosam bris olam. By Shabbos it says bris, of course by Milah it says bris, and therefore you can learn a gzer shava. But the Gemara says that's not going to work either. Gadol dechsiv bei bris l'dchi Shabbos, because what about an adult who's having bris Milah? It says the word bris over there as well, and we know that then if you have a Milah shalo bizmana, let's say a kid's already 13 years old and he's having a bris Milah, that is not docha Shabbos, but it should if you have the gzer shava bris. Gadol ben shalosh esrei to have a milah shalo bizmana. If he's 13, now why are we picking on 13 specifically? Why not say anyone that's past the 8th day? Rashi explains dechsiv bei bris. It says v'orel zachar asher lo yimol es brisi hefar v'hai krab begadol ksiv. This pasuk is definitely talking about a gadol, where it says that if you don't have bris milah, you're going to get punished. I mean, a mechayev le kares, because the pasuk says that if you don't have bris milah, you're going to get kares. Shem lo malu aviv chayev lo malasatzma. The whole point is, if a person's father did not give him bris milah, he has to get bris milah himself when he turns 13. Velidchi Shabbos, and that should be docha Shabbos. V'anon amrinu lekaman. We're going to say later, dafilu yom teveno docha ela bizmana. We're going to say that that's not even docha yontiv unless it's the 8th day. So that can't be a proper Gezerah Shava either. So the Gemara tries another one. Ela Asya Doros Doros. Let's say it's learned out from the Gezerah Shava Doros Doros. By Shabbos it says Ladorosam Bris Olam. By Bris Milah specifically of 8 days old it says Kol Zachar Ladorosechem. But the Gemara says again, since it's Techsib Bei Doros Lidchi Shabbos. Since it also says the word Doros, that should be Docha Shabbos. We just said on the previous Amud that since this is not Docha Shabbos. El Amar of Nachman Bar Yitzchak. So rather of Nachman Bar Yitzchak says Donin Os Bris Vidoros Me Os Bris Vidoros. Take all three together. Os, bris, and doros. That's what it says by Shabbos, and it also says os, bris, and doros by Milah on the 8th day, and therefore you can make this Gezerah Shava using 3 words in order to say that bris Milah is docha Shabbos. And that excludes all the other cases that we just brought, where it only has one of the words, it doesn't have all 3 of the words. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, and Rabbi Yochanan says, a different source, Amar kra biyom afilu b'Shabbos. So Rabbi Yochanan says, no, the source of the Rabbanan is simple. It says the word biyom, and biyom teaches us even on Shabbos. Rashi says, biyom v'afilu b'Shabbos min lo chsiv b'shmini yimol. It doesn't say on the 8th day, it says biyom. So this is actually the same drasha that we said Rabbi Eliezer had before. So the Gemara says, ulu Rabbi Eliezer da'afke lemachshirin. Rabbi Eliezer says the word biyom is to say that you can prepare bris milah on Shabbos. So milah atzma halacha, he will have to say that milah itself is docha Shabbos because of halacha l'Moshe Sinai. He's going to go back to the original answer we suggested. Upikuach nefesh lo asile b'kal v'chomer milah, and he's going to hold that you don't learn pikuach nefesh from a kal v'chomer. That brisa which learned out pikuach nefesh is docha Shabbos from a kal v'chomer because milah is docha Shabbos, he doesn't have that. Ela mikray nafkale kedamrin perik basar yuma. You look in the last perik of Yuma, he has psukim for that. So what it emerges, according to this, is that according to the Rabbanan, they use biyom to say milas docha Shabbos. Rabbi Eliezer says milas docha Shabbos from a halacha l'Moshe Sinai, and biyom says that the preparations can be docha Shabbos. Fine. So now the Gemara says Amar le Reish Lakish le Rabbi Yochanan. So Reish Lakish says to Rabbi Yochanan, Ela me'ata, according to that, if the word biyom says even on Shabbos, mechusrei kapara dechsib behu biyom. What about mechusrei kapara? Mechusrei kapara are people who are tamei, who need to bring a carbon in order to purify themselves. It could be a zav, a zava, a yoledis, or mitzor, and it says the word bayom. So dechsib behu bayom, where it says bayom, hachanami dedachu Shabbos. Are you going to say that they can bring their carbon even on Shabbos? So the Gemara says, no, that's not a good bayom. Hahumi boile bayom velo belayla. Because there the word biyom is to say that the carbon is brought during the day and not at night. So the Gemara says, Hai nami mi boile biyom velo belayla. What are you talking about? Here also by Mila, it's to say that it's during the day you do bris Mila, not at night. So that's the same problem. So the Gemara says, no, ahumi ben shmonas yamim nafka. We have another pasuk that says ben shmonas yamim. That says day and not night. Biyom is still extra to say even on Shabbos. Gemara says, Hai nami mi biyom tzavoso nafka. It says biyom tzavoso when it talks about mechusrei kapara. So that you could say that's biyom velo belayla, and you still have an extra biyom. So the Gemara says, Afagav de nafka mi biyom tzavoso. Even though you have biyom tzavoso when it comes to these mechusrei kapara, it's stricha. You still need another pasuk. Why? Because I might have thought, Ho v'chos rachmana aleh leisuye bedalos. The Torah is lenient when it comes to mechusrei kapara, that they're allowed to bring a different carbon if they're poor. They don't have to bring as expensive of a carbon. Belayla nami lesi. So then you might have thought, oh, we're so lenient with them, they could bring it at night also. Kamash malon. So you have to have a second pasuk to tell you that you cannot do it at night. So ma'askef la Ravina, but then Ravina asks, if we're so lenient in these karbanos, elameati yehe zar kosher behen v'yeh onen kosher behen. What about a zar? A zar should be allowed to bring it. You should need a kohen. An onen should be allowed to do the avoda. So the Gemara says for that, no, ha'ahadre kra. Once the pasuk says twice and says, okay, biyom, and again biyom, to tell you not at night, it's telling you don't think to be so lenient, so therefore you don't go so far as to say that a zar is kosher or that an onin is kosher. The only thing we allow is that they can bring it bedalis, they can bring a poor version of the carbon. So in any case, Rabbi Yochanan's source is the word biyom. Now Rav Acha bar Yaakov has a different source. He says, according to the Rabbanan, how do you know that bris milah on the 8th day is Zoch Shabbos? Amar Kra, because the pasuk says shmini afilu b'Shabbos. The word shmini, the 8th day, is to tell you it's dafka. Even the 8th day falls out on Shabbos, you have to do bris milah on Shabbos. Rashi over here says, Shmini kol shu shmini, anything that's the 8th day, v'afilu b'Shabbos, even on Shabbos, uviyom lemutei laila. According to him, the word biyom says that you have to do bris milah during the day and not at night. So the Gemara says, Hai shmini mi boile lemutei shvi. What are you talking about? The word shmini is to tell you do the bris on the 8th day, not the 7th day. It's not an extra word in the pasuk. Gemara says, Shvi mi ben shmonas yamim nafka. No, that it already says ben shmonas yamim. So we already know you can't do the 7th day. V'akati mi boile chad lemutei shvi v'chad lemutei teshi. But don't you need to exclude both the 7th day and the 9th day? You have to say that Mila is dafka on the 8th day, or it could be after if you don't do it, but primarily on the 8th day. Because if you only had one pasuk, I might think that on the 7th day where it's not the proper time, okay, that's fine. That's when you don't do bris milah. But maybe I would think that from the 8th day and onward, that's the proper time. So the Gemara says you're right. You're right. The word shmini, even if it says it twice, it's not extra. That's to tell you dafka the 8th day, not the 7th. Dafka the 8th day, not the 9th. And therefore, Rabbi Yochanan is correct that the real source is bayom. Tanya Kavase, Rabbi Yochanan, the Gemara says we have a brisa like Rabbi Yochanan, Udolok Rav Acha bar Yaakov, and not like Rav Acha bar Yaakov, meaning the source is biyom. The brisa says as follows: Shmini yimol afilu b'Shabbos. When it says you give bris milah on the 8th day, is that even on Shabbos? Umani mekayim mechalaleh mos yumos b'shar melachos chutz mimilah. And when it says you're not allowed to desecrate Shabbos, that's by all other melachos, but milah you're allowed to do. Oeinu ela afilu milah, or maybe mechalaleh mos yumos means you can't even have a bris milah on Shabbos. Umani mekayim shmini yimol. And what does the pasuk mean when it says on the 8th day have a bris milah chutz mi Shabbos? It means if the 8th day is not Shabbos, but if it's Shabbos, you can't do it. Talmud lomer biyom. So the brisa says that's what the pasuk teaches us in the word biyom, afilu b'Shabbos. When it says biyom, it means even on Shabbos, exactly like Rabbi Yochanan. So Amar Rava says, Haitana me kara mai kanichale, ulevasof mai kakashale. Just in general, this brisa, what was the brisa originally thinking, and then what is the brisa saying at the end? In other words, why would the brisa have any havamina to say that you should be allowed to violate Shabbos, and then they say you're not allowed to violate? What's going on? So the Gemara says, Hachikama. Here's what the brisa meant. Shmini yimol afilu b'Shabbos. First, the brisa thinks maybe on the 8th day you can do milah, even on Shabbos. Umani mekayim chalemos yumos b'shar melachos chutz mi milah, and all other melachos you can't do on Shabbos, but milah you could. Avol milah da'achya ma'itayim akal v'chomer. The brisa initially thinks that bris milah you should be allowed to do on Shabbos from a kal v'chomer, and the kal v'chomer is as follows: Umat tzoras shadocha esva avoda. If tzoras is docha avoda, Rashi here explains that what does it mean tzoras is docha avoda? It means that in a situation, we'll see the Rashi inside here. Umat tzoras shadocha There's a warning in the Torah, you're not allowed to cut off tzaras from your skin. Because it's baraso akas medaber. And this tzaras, it's so strict that you can't cut off the blemish on the skin, the tzaras, the leprosy on the skin. Lidchos havoda, it even pushes off the avoda. The tumas meis nidchos bekarban sibur, because we know that tumas meis, when it comes to a carbon sibur, you can bring karbonos if you're tami meis. Velo zavin umitzoroim, but when it comes to zav and mitzora, they are not. Even in a tzibur situation, it does not push it off. If you have zavin or mitzoraim, they cannot bring a carbon pesach. Even if it's a carbon tzibur, there's nothing being pushed off here. So we don't say that you cut off the baheres, cut off the tzaras, and now you can bring the carbon pesach. We don't say that. We don't say, for example, a kohen can cut off his baheres and then be able to do the avodah. Let's say the whole congregation is tar, but the kohanim are tamei. You don't say, okay, we need kohanim, so therefore they can cut it off. So the point is, tzaras is dochel the avodah in these situations. Tzaras is something you can't do the avodah, and we don't say you can cut off the tzaras in order to do the avodah. So this is the beginning of the possible kal v'chomer, why Mila would be dochel Shabbos. We'll see the continuation of the kal v'chomer in the next video on Daf Kuf Lamed Beis Amud Beis.